Hello everyone, welcome back. Today we are going to see how we can register this bin definition with container. And since I have to register this bin with container, the bin name is customer. I have to register this bin with container. We have to create the object for the container. So to know what container I'm going to use and what how I can create the object for the container, before going a little deeper inside this, let me run this example and let me show you what can be the output we are getting on the console. So to run this example, I will just do the right click, will come to the run as, and I will just click on the Java application. Once I will click on the Java application, I am getting the message on my console that is nothing but I'm in main method, and this message is getting printed from here. So as of now, this bin definition which I have written here, this is not getting registered with the container. And why? Because I don't have the container. And why I'm saying this? Because if the container will register this bin, internally the container will try to call this method. The method name is create customer. Once this method will get called, if this method will get called, the body or the logic of this method will start executing. And once the logic will start executing, or once the logic will start get execute from here, internally we are trying to call the we are trying to create the object for the customer, and we are trying to call this non-parameterized constructor from here. And once this constructor will get called, the message will get print from here. But as of now, we can see we don't have any message on my console. Even after this object creation, I was trying to call the set name or setter method for the name. And inside the setter method for the name also, we have one message that is nothing but set name method for the name, that is also not getting printed. It means that I can say that still this bin definition has not registered with the container. And what is the reason behind that? Because I don't have any container as of now in my project. So now I'm going to create the container and I'm going to create the object for the container. So to see how I can create the container or what container I can use, let me show you what container I was using in case of spring.xml configuration file. So if we'll come to this lab1.java, here you can see I was using the container. The container name was application context. As we have discussed in this first example, we have the two kind of container in case of spring. In case of spring, the one container is known as bin factory container. The other container is known as application context container. And this application context container is known as advanced container, and it supports the XML as well as it supports the annotation both. But in case of bin factory container, the bin factory container only support the XML configuration. They does not support the annotation. So here also I was creating the container, or I was using the advanced container, and to create the object for the container, I was using the class. The class name was class path XML application context. This class path XML application context I will only use if I am dealing with the XML configuration, or if I want to write the bin definition based on the XML file. If you are not dealing with the XML file, or you are not writing the bin definition based on the XML configuration, then I will not suggest you to go with this class path XML application context, because this class path XML application context is not suitable for the annotation related stuff. Or if you are using the annotation, and then if you are trying to get the object for the container using the class path XML application context, you will get the runtime error. So here at least we will get to know we have to use the inside the lab2.java. I'm going to use the advanced container itself. So the container name is nothing but application context. And you can see this application context is one of the advanced container, or I can say this is one of the interface, and this interface is available inside the package of spring org.spring framework.context. So this application context, this is the interface. You can see this I mark I for the interface, and this is available in the org.spring framework.context. So this is the package name. This is the package name. Or here also you can see this is the package name for this application context interface. Now I have to get the object. So how I can get the object? So this interface has multiple child class or multiple classes is going to implement this class. So one class was the class path XML application context. Another class here which I am going to use, that is nothing but annotation config application context. And this class or this class I will only use if I am dealing with the annotation or if I'm dealing with the Java configuration. So if you want to write your bin definition based on the annotation or based on the Java configuration, in that case, we'll create the object for the container based on the annotation config application context. Now again, if you'll see this lab1.java, here after, while creating the object, I was passing one value inside this uh, constructor, and the value was here, that is the string.xml, and this string.xml was containing all the configuration related information, or it was holding the bin definition. In our case, in lab2.java also, I have to pass the configuration file here as well. So in lab1.java also, I was passing this string1.xml was nothing but configuration file. Same as in lab2.java, I have to pass the configuration file. Here, the configuration file name is nothing but Java config. So I'm going to pass this Java config here. So Java config and dot class. I'm going to pass here. And then we will give the semicolon here. Now I can say one more advantage of using the Java configuration or the XML configuration is here, suppose you are in the lab1.java and here suppose you are going to do some typo mistake. So instead of string.xml, suppose you are passing or you are doing something wrong here, or you are passing the name as string2.xml. If you are passing the string2.xml by mistake, here you can see you are not getting any compile time error. But once you run this program, you will get the runtime error saying that this file they could not able to open this file, or this file does not exist. But so here you will get only error once you run the program. There is no chance you will get any compile time error if you are passing the wrong name here, or if you are passing the incorrect configuration file from this application context. But if we'll do the same mistake here, suppose here I'm going to pass some wrong name instead of Java config. Suppose I'm going to pass the name as a Java config 2. Once you will do some typo mistake, or once you will do some mistake, immediate you will get the compile time error saying that this Java config 2 is not available. Please create this class file. So here, if I will do any mistake at the compile time only, I can fix this error, and at runtime, I am not get error saying that this bin does not available or this class does not available. So this is one of the advantage of using XML configuration over the Java configuration. This is one of the advantage of actually Java configuration over the XML configuration. Okay. Now here you can see all the class file is ready now. I have my main class. In the main class also, everything is ready. I have created the container. I have created the object for the container. I have the bin class. Inside the bin class also, I have two data member. And for this two data member, I try to inject based on the construct. I try to inject the dependency of this bin based on the setter injection. And for that, we have the setter method as well. We have the constructor inside this method as well, and we have one more method inside this class as well. So the method which I have here, that is the customer info. So I have each and everything here. And inside the Java configuration also, I have each and everything. So all the classes is ready now, and we can run my application. Now, once my run this application, come to this lab2.java, and let me change this message as well. So now I'm going to change this message. So I can write here Spring container is ready to start. Ready to start or ready to use, you can write. Now I'm simply going to run this example. So once how I can run, again I will do the right click, will come to run as, and then I will click on the Java application. Once I will click on the Java application, you can see all the now you can see some more message is getting printed. Last time once I was running this program, I was getting only this message was getting printed. Spring container is ready to start, or the message which I was mentioned here, that message was only printing. Now here you can see some other message also printing, like the message is printing from the customer bin. So you can see this message is the message which you can see here, default customer constructor. This is getting printed from this line. And the other message which you can see here on the console, the set name method for the name, that is getting printed from here. Now, how it is getting printed, that I'm going to discuss in the next class. There we'll see how internally what Spring container is doing while trying to restore this bin definition. So I mean to say, once I'm running this example, what Spring container is doing internally and how this message is getting printed, that I'm going to discuss in the next lecture, in the next video.